see if this map breaks the game again or not. If it
I
was
can't
just...
play my game for days now.
Oh.
What game? Oh, that game.
That random game, whatever it was
I can't
called.
remember the fucking name. I don't remember the name. I know it begins with an F, doesn't it?
No. None of the words begin with an F.
Oh, it works.
What is the game then?
Something
Tales of
Oh,
Tales of Berseria.
yeah,
That's the one I put it as
whatever.
area. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
That's not
Why
my
do
fault.
I even bother with you? I don't know.
And I bet you can't remember what the last game I was playing before Batman was.
No.
I do.
Exactly.
Boy.
Exactly. Yeah, see? I told you earlier.
And Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, I haven't actually put much into that because I know that I've got to have a break over
I mean, you
Christmas.
played Spyro at one point.
Yeah, so did you.
Yeah.
But we played it before it was cool. We played it way before it was cool.
Did you know?
Yeah, but I did. I played it when it was like first came out in the 90s. So yeah.
Well,
It's got
I bet it
better
was
I can't remember
cool
when I played it for the first time.
back then.
You're a lot younger than me, so yeah. It kind of makes sense. I played. Well, actually, no, that's kind of a lie because I didn't get a PlayStation of my own until like. Oh my god, I'm stuck behind textures. Until like early 2000s.
When did
Because we
when
had
did
like the
Spyro
household one.
first come out? I forget. Was it
98?
98? Yeah.
I think it was 98. As I
Yeah,
said, I didn't get a. We had like a household PlayStation, but the console that I only owned and actually had my own first was a Mega Drive. Because I'm old. And then a normal Sega Master System and crappy consoles essentially that
Jesus.
by the time were out of date.
Yeah, I remember one of our family friends had a Sega, but I don't remember like what model it was.
Where the hell am I going?
I don't know.
Sega had some really, really good games on it.
Yeah, they look pretty fun.
I mean, obviously Sonic was good back then, and also you had things like Golden Axe. Golden Axe was one of the best side-scroll like beat 'em up games there ever was. Like it was amazing for its time. Same as Streets of Rage, and man, they had loads of clone games though. That was the issue because obviously they were competing with Nintendo,
Yeah.
so they had loads of games that were like blatant Nintendo rip-offs. We even had one of those fucking Philips CDI things when they first came out.
Hmm?
You know the Philips CDI?
No.
Nope.
The first console to ever have a disc that they were essentially... you know how like PlayStation came about because Nintendo fucked them over? You know that story?
Don't remember.
Sony and Nintendo had a deal where Nintendo would allow Sony to make their first like disc games console, but whatever reason Nintendo decided to say fuck off and basically cancel the contract. So Sony went into their own company and created Sony PlayStation and created the entire destiny of PlayStation. But Nintendo, they signed a contract with Philips and made a console called the CDI, and yeah, there's a Zelda game and a few other games that were already contractually obligated to create, like to make on that console. It was like, you know, like there's really old, cheap, hand-drawn cartoons. It was like one of those, but slightly interactive. And they made quite a few games for it, but like, it was the worst fucking abomination of a console.
Okay.
But it literally came about because they'd already signed a contract with Philips. And
I can't do this.
So your entire PlayStations that you own are literally came about because Sony were trying to say fuck you to Nintendo for firing them.
Oh.
Good.
Which is hilarious, really, isn't it?
That makes me happy.
They literally only exist as a fuck you to Nintendo. It always made me laugh. and I can't do this. Every time I go down the slide, it's just
Same.
Says me, who has seriously been considering getting a
Oops.
Switch. Fuck's sake.
no, don't bother with a Switch.
Well, there's only like 2 games I really want.
Exactly the
Oh.
reason. Unless
What?
you're like a die-hard Zelda, or like you like games to be cloned and added to your Nintendo, like watered down versions. It's the same as the reason why I haven't bought any VR stuff, because the games on it are just going to be the same watered down versions of games that I already have, like Skyrim. Kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, so the Nintendo Switch versions of like not the Witcher, Wolfenstein and things like that are actually meant to be quite good, but it's still a game I already own, so
Well,
Well, I'm
see, I am
struggling.
talking about games that are only on the Switch.
yeah. So I'm assuming the animator titles or the like Pokemon. You're not a Pokemon
Ew.
fan, so
I
Ew,
might-
actual,
don't
like,
need
I might want to
exclusive
play some
Nintendo games.
Pokemon.
Are you a
Oh,
Mario
shit.
fan?
Oh god, no.
Oh,
So
no.
what actual games are exclusive to Nintendo that you couldn't just get on a console?
Exactly.
No, what about those 2 games you're on about?
Well, one is Xenoblade 2,
So an
because
anime
the
game.
first one is only on freaking... What the fuck is this map?
Drugs.
First one is only on Wii and 3DS, so can't play that one unless I emulate the Wii version.
Or just buy a Wii that are like, what, £5 now? They're literally worth nothing. I have a Nintendo
I don't
Wii
have
you can
space
have
for
for
that.
free.
I legit don't have space for another console.
Really?
I mean, unless I put it somewhere.
somewhere,
I'm not
somewhere.
playing it.
What do you currently have? I know you have a PlayStation 4, obviously, and PC.
I got PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and the Vita. And I also have the VR system.
Well, anyone
Never
think you
had a
like
PSP.
PlayStation?
Huh?
Did anyone think you like PlayStation?
Hmm.
I mean, no.
No.
I mean, PSPs were good.
Yeah. But I
They
mean,
weren't great, but like they had really good. I want to
you
say
can
like
get all
they
of the
could have
games
been
on the
good.
Vita nowadays, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, they were well ahead of their time in that respect. I think. Like, I genuinely believe that's the reason why the first one did so badly. Like, it did well, but obviously the DS outshone it because.
I don't get that because from what I've seen, the DS is worse than
DS was shit back in
the
its
Vita
day.
and PSP.
Like, PSP in my opinion, outdid any of the DS's for fucking years because it was, yeah, fair enough. It was like what, PlayStation 2S graphics, if that, because it wasn't exactly like the most advanced console, and the games were watered down. But like, yeah, like I would 100% say that they are way better than the crappy early Nintendo games. But for some reason,
Yeah.
Nintendo sold, and I think it's because parents didn't want to give their kids PlayStations because of the violent titles.
Mm.
So they give their kids the cheap.
And the people who were invested in PlayStation consoles already were like used to having a console that's not handheld that you can't take anywhere.
True. Obviously, also
I don't know.
Nintendo did well because they already had, like, people weren't ready to go with a completely unheard of handheld console when they already
Yeah.
know that, like, Nintendo's been going for fucking since the goddamn early 90s, late 80s actually, I think, for handhelds and shit. So like, I would much rather have a Game Boy / Nintendo console than a random Sony one that you don't even think would work. Like, I don't know. The film side of it was kind of intriguing as well. I had quite a few of the UMD films for the original.
Mm.
It's a good concept. It's badly executed, and if it had come out at this
I don't
time,
think it's
it would
even
have done
badly
really well.
executed. It's just people didn't get into it.
That's what I mean. Like, it was in the wrong time. It was not very well received in comparison to the DS anyway. Because the PSP did sell really well, and the games, there is a crap ton of games on it. It's just they weren't as well received, and most of them were incredibly watered down versions of the actual like decent game.
Yeah,
the
like the
original, anyway.
PlayStation market is more focused on like big games instead of smaller scale.
I mean, the Vita versions weren't too bad. Like the Assassin's Creed Liberation that came out on Vita was just as good as number 3 that came out on Xbox and PlayStation 3. Like they were good quality.
Yeah, and when I got my Vita, they had a few games along with it, and one of them was the Uncharted game. Was it Golden?
Yeah, see, the PSP version.
And that was alright. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I think it was just certain I can't think of the bloody word, ports, like certain ports were crap. Like the Call of Duty was labelled as like the best game you could physically get for the Vita. It was on all the adverts, and it was amazing because the first person online shooter that you could play, and it was like, in comparison to the actual COD that came out that year, it wasn't remotely good. It was poorly executed, laggy, and the online was terrible.
Also, one thing that's a huge setback for the Vita is that the memory cards are ridiculously expensive.
I know, right? And obviously, because it's Sony, it has to be a memory card size that you couldn't get any other fucking memory cards for, because screw you. That's what happened with the Sony phones, like the Walkman phones and that. All of the Sony Ericsson phones had fucking their own version of a bloody memory stick, so you had to have your own Sony version just for that phone.
Also, the charger, like the cord, it has to be a Sony one. Because none other can fit through like the little gap that they made.
Exactly.
And I actually, well, I didn't. Well, I kind of broke it, but it's still working. Just needs to be in a specific position so that it'll recharge.
Yeah.
And I had to replace that with one of my controller cords because, nothing else would fit. Because
they did kind of Apple it, didn't they, a little bit with the whole it has to be specific brand stuff to actually work, which I mean, yeah, fair enough, good idea, it's good for making money, but also like dick
fuck
move.
You.
Literally, like dick move.
Oh, god damn it, no.
I mean, the Vita, it's a pretty good console. Like I can understand why it's sold.
I love it. So good.
It's 100 times better than was it PSP Go or something like that? You know, the stupid little Pocket or something, the one that had no actual discs, the one that came out before the Vita.
No, I don't know about that.
It was the PSP Go, I think it was called. It came out before the Vita, and it was literally a solid unit. It had no games.
An absolute unit
that you could put in. It was one of those ones that, like, they made it thinking that everyone would just buy digital copies, but it was before digital copies were really a thing. Also, it was a slide up one. It was like the old slide up phone.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it was very poorly received. It literally was like a slide up phone. It was a normal PSP but a little bit smaller, and you slide it up to the buttons underneath. And yeah, it was like solely online, if memory serves. Like you could only buy digitals back in the day when people didn't buy digital games, and also like it had a built-in memory, and yeah, it was a really bad idea. And then the Vita came out, which was tons better. That was their fucking smart ass way of doing it. It was such a terrible game, like console anyway. With literally just normal PSP games, but added onto the digital market with a slight tweak to the graphics, and then calling it a completely different game. Slightly dumb. I can't get us hill.
Yeah, I remember when before we got Super Nintendo, we bought like this kind of like Chinese cheap knockoff console that was like orange and grey colored, and it never worked. Like we plugged it in all
Loads of
correctly,
those
and
now.
it never worked.
Oh,
Have you seen
no.
like the amount of blades and emulator consoles that have come out, like the Sega ones and that are literally just a crappy, cheap console that they've made handheld, and they've literally just shoved an emulator in it with loads of pre-existing,
Yeah.
say like Sega or Sony ROMs. I put a picture of what it looks like stood open, and also the size difference between that and the original PSP. But that was what they considered to be their next big console. It's in voice text, like that was what they thought was going to be the next big console. A solid unit like that,
Oh,
smaller,
yeah,
Oh.
that
had, like,
thing.
only digital copies of games. That's what they genuinely thought was going to be their next huge thing. Didn't sell very
Damn.
well, obviously. It's a clever concept, but like making your fucking console easily breakable because it's a slide up, but also smaller, and also take the one good thing about having discs. And I mean, again, people weren't buying digital copies back then. It was not a thing.
Also,
What would
if this clip is going to YouTube, for some reason I don't know how to edit those photos on the video, so
then they could just join our Discord.
yeah. Whoops.
Can't get the speed right. Nope.
Oh, hole in one.
Also, it's only obviously it's capturing your gameplay, so the
Yeah.
sound should be all good. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Is it because it's recording the sound through Discord, isn't it?
Yeah, and my
Yeah, that's
mic,
cool, so-
my mic, like separately.
Yeah, that's cool because that means it will actually all be tweaked. Ah, fucking nice.
Yeah, there's been
Um,
some roboting
Oh wow.
with YouTube, but not too bad.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
Nah, that's just my normal voice.
yeah.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
You use like some kind of voice box to talk.
No, Tig just has a generic anime version of Bane's mask.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Oh, thank you.
Did I hit someone?
Maybe.
Didn't slow me down
I don't
anyway.
know. We're all just like in the same bunch.
Donk. Ow.
But yeah, our first console was the Atari something. Don't remember.
That could be like the Atari.
It could have been like
160.
anything.
The Atari is basically just pumped out consoles, didn't they? Like,
Yeah.
there was so many fucking Ataris and Spectrums. Oh man.
Yeah, it had like a slot where you can insert like a cartridge, and
Yeah.
we had like Pac-Man and Space Invaders and some kind of sports game. But then it had the separate like cassette tape thing where you load the games from a cassette tape, and it always took forever to load the games.
I was gonna say, did you have a Spectrum?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me just quickly have a quick look. I'm pretty sure it was
Oh no.
I mean, there were so many of those, so it could have been like anything.
It might have been, yeah, it might have been a ZX, but yeah, there was a console that I had that was literally like had a few buttons on it. It was a big ass slab, and it literally had like actual music tape style things, like actual cassettes, and
Yeah.
literally like you could put one of those in, start the console, and you could literally go uptown, do shopping, come back, and it'd be about half loaded.
Yeah. We bought like
And then like you would play like a 2-second part of the game, and then suddenly it'll be insert the other side, and it's like another 30-40 minutes.
no, it
fucking
wasn't.
loaded.
It wasn't like that. You had to like load the whole game from a cassette tape at once.
Yeah, but
And-
they were just ridiculous.
Yeah, we bought like a used one, so it came with like several cassette tapes that had like recorded games, like as if like you were recording songs from a radio, but they were games, like bunch of games in a one cassette tape, and it had at the time stamps, like where you need to start the loading of the game, but like almost none of them were. Whenever we tried to load them, they just never did. So we had like just
Oh
some of
wow!
them.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was a hole in one.
Yeah, some of them only worked like for sure, and some never loaded. Oh, I remember we had a Goonies game in one of the games or cassettes, and it loaded once, but then after that we were never able to load it, and it was a good game. Like, damn, it was so annoying that it wasn't loading anymore.
You only have one chance.
Yeah. And when there were those kind of games, you weren't like able to save them, like save your progress
Oh.
or anything. So when you died, you had to
The
start
good
all
old
over.
time.
Yeah, good old times.
Oh, did I get some? But yeah, the first console I remember our household having,
Yeah.
well, at least by the time I was born, was the one of the Game Boys. It might have been the first Game Boy, like the really fat one. The grey.
Yeah,
Fat
like the black and white.
Game Boy.
Yeah.
I played that all the time.
Mm.
I got bonbons. New trail. I didn't even get a chance to change.
Well, we can have a break after this, so change it.
Ginge
then.
died.
No, I didn't die. I was trying.
Replying.
After this one, I will get more drink.
Yeah, I just finished mine,
I
my
was gonna
second
say,
one,
you
so
already passed out.
now I have to drink water instead, because I need to go get another can from the fridge after this one.
Same. I have nothing.
Oh, when did I finish the rum? Oh no!
Okay, he literally just instantly fingered that sparrow. Where did all the rum go? Where's all the rum?
I need to go get some of
But
more
why
of
is
that.
the rum gone?
Yeah. Oh, hi.
I need to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, at least 2 and 3, because I've already seen the first one.
Oh, the last time when we were talking about Lord of the Rings, I noticed the third movie was airing on TV like yesterday or something.
Oh, well, that's nothing new.
Doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I was just
Till
thinking
they-
about our talks, like, oh, Tigs should totally watch them now.
Oh, yeah, totally my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with fucking Star Wars. I was like, oh, might get the original trilogy, then the prequels, and watch like the first to 6th film, and then maybe the new ones if I can be asked. But then I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then I noticed on TV that they'd already done that like for the last couple of weeks, and they were already on the 4th fucking film.
Yeah.
So they kind of beat me to it.
Oh, and also when I was talking about getting the solo Star Wars film next, I noticed we have the DVDs at work, but I want the Blu-rays, and we don't have Blu-rays at all there,
That's random.
because it's a cheapo store, so no expensive Blu-rays,
Yeah, although Blu-rays are normally only a couple of quid more, like 3 or 4 quid more, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, because
the-
the DVD was also like a bit too pricey. Like I was looking at that, like I'm not buying that for that price. Like, fuck you.
also, I feel sorry for the Han Solo film.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause it's
I'm
like-
not expecting anything great from
No,
it.
I think
Like,
it could have
I
been a
haven't
really
seen
good
it.
film if it wasn't for all the arsehole fans, because it didn't do well specifically because of the fact that they were boycotting it. Fans were boycotting the Han Solo film until they get a Obi-Wan Kenobi film. and
Yeah.
because of that, they put the ban on all future spin-off fucking films. So like, they've literally just lost everything they were after.
Yeah, but the Boba Fett movie, I don't want to see that.
Oh no, the Boba Fett film would be a series anyway, because they're already doing a Mandalorian bounty hunter series, which already going to be basically fucking Boba Fett, but you know, elsewhere. But it is dumb. They kind of fucked it over by boycotting it. Also, do you know that Boba Fett was actually literally that was meant to be Darth Vader? Darth Vader's character was meant to be a mercenary. He was not actually meant to be a lord or like a main bad guy. He's meant to be an expendable mercenary. That's why if you look at like Boba Fett's helmet and Darth Vader's, it's kind of similar because they used what was left of the original mercenary Darth Vader outfit. They just used what's left of it.
Oh, and I just was like yesterday. I saw a post on Instagram about like one of the newer like Darth Vader comics where they like confirmed that the father of Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker was the Darth Sidious. No, what's that guy's name?
Plagueis?
No, like the one, like the bad Darth in the movie.
You mean the Emperor or the
yeah,
Emperor?
yeah.
That's
Like
just dumb.
I think it was him.
Against all canon. That's stupid.
Yeah, like so he like there was some kind of like weird kind of force like impregnation or something.
I get you.
Yeah.
Because that's because the Disney canon is so fucked, but that makes no sense because like he's meant to be a Jesus character, he's meant to be born specifically out of the Force.
Yeah.
But the way it's supposed to go in the theory is that Darth Plagueis, the guy that was the Emperor's mentor, the one that the Emperor speaks about in the third film and talks about how he killed him, and you know how that he talks about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis who wanted to essentially become immortal and become a god and never die but ends up dying. Well, his entire life was dedicated in the like expanded universe, his entire life was dedicated to creating like immortality through the Force, and with that he was trying to create an entire living being from the Force, and it failed, and then Sidious killed him. But the theory that was later confirmed was that he did create somebody, but it happened in a different area. He created, using his abilities, he did create Anakin Skywalker, but it didn't happen, you know, in the same room. It happened the other way.
Yeah, it also like changes the whole like you know, the Skywalker family. They're all now like descendants of like a Sith Lord. So
well, that's the thing though. Like you think about it, it doesn't really matter anyway because Luke Skywalker and Leia are already descendants of Sith anyway, because you know.
Well, yeah, but still.
And it's not like Palpatine was just an ordinary Sith Lord who happened. Now my computer decides to freeze.
Oh no!
He was just an ordinary Sith Lord that killed his master and took over. But that was the entire point. It was.
James, where did you go?
My computer crashed.
What?
But it was one of those things. It's like essentially Sidious is technically the father in that his master created something in the other side of the galaxy and was unaware of it, and then Sidious manipulated and basically he took a young Anakin and warped him into Darth Vader, didn't he? So technically he is the father. He's a father figure anyway, but making him like DNA style fucking related is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But saying that he's there because that's just dumb. So it also means that Luke's father killed Luke's granddad to save Luke.
Yeah.
And he didn't actually kill him. That's the funny thing. The Emperor's died twice, and in the expanded universe came back twice. He died and come back. The same as Darth Maul. Darth Maul died. Everyone thought he was dead when he was cut in half, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm so lost with like the expanded stuff because I've only watched the movie.
This wasn't even the expanded. This is in Solo.
Oh yeah.
In Solo, you see that.
I haven't. Yeah. I mean, I've seen like I've heard and seen all the spoilers anyway because I don't like.
Yeah, but this isn't really a spoiler because you see him for a 3-second clip and he warns them to get off his planet and then you never hear or see from him ever again. It was just an Easter egg. but
Yeah.
it's not like story. But it was because he got cut in half and fell through into the garbage below, but he used the dark side to keep his body alive, and his family found him, gave him
Yeah.
metal legs. He went insane.
Yeah, and I've read about him. Like there was some other
He became
Darth
like a
who looked like a lot
his
of
brother.
him.
Yeah,
Like yeah.
that they all have the same horns and skin. The
Yeah.
black stuff on the black stuff is a tattoo that he got. It's not actually like part of him. It's a tattoo. It's a Sith tattoo.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things that he became a massive, after trying to kill the Emperor like 10, 15 times.
Came
He
a
ended
massive
up
prick.
no, he ended up becoming kind of like Jabba. He was like the biggest fucking gangster on the planet in the Solo film. So he tried killing Jabba the Hutt and taking over like the entire galaxy's mob essentially. He became a gangster, literally. Then obviously, if you go by Rebels, he became old, got kicked out of his organization, and ended up going to Tatooine to try and find Obi-Wan Kenobi as an old man, finds him, and then they have a 2-second fight, and Obi finally kills him. But that's like not even a few years before Luke becomes a Jedi. So it means he was around for like 40, 50 odd years before he actually died.
Yeah.
Expanded universe is messy, but they've rewritten 90% of it with the fucking Disney canon. They kind of ruined a shitload of it.
Yeah, Disney. Goddamn.
I mean, it would have been a lot cooler because then you wouldn't have a pissy, teenage, stroppy, angsty fucking Kylo Ren. You would have had the actual, the actual
Don't
Star
talk
Wars
shit
family.
about Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is a little bitch. He's a little bitch. They tried making him into Darth Vader. It failed. So in the second film, he doesn't even wear his fucking helmet anymore. And his Knights of Ren, the ultimate bodyguards there is that you see for a couple of seconds, no longer exist.
It's only because Adam Driver. Oh, his name Adam Driver.
He is Adam Driver.
He's kind of cute.
He really isn't. It's a huge head, big ears. Like,
No.
How is he cute, man?
I like big ears.
See, now you're just being jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous of his massive ears
Yeah.
and his angsty teenage
And
throats.
wonky face.
But that's the annoying thing, though. They had a really clever character that could have been awesome, but they made him into a bitchy teenage. They made him really angsty and angry. Like Darth Vader, when something happened, he killed some fucker. He didn't trash a room with a lightsaber. He grabbed hold of someone's neck and snapped it. Like he didn't fucking cry about it. And then, like I said, they just gave up with the entire him having a helmet and having his own army and being cool.
He's just trying too hard, to be like Darth Vader.
Literally. But at the same time, they also got rid of two awesome things that could have been really good, which is Rey's parents being some like
Yeah.
ancient Jedis or being Leia or whoever. They just made him into two random twats that sold her to a slaver because they couldn't look after her. And then they just killed Emperor Snoke before they even gave him a backstory. They just killed him off for no fucking reason. So now the next film, after them teaming up and killing him and killing all the guards, now they're going to be enemies again. And now that the only bad guy left is General Hux, who's not exactly the most intimidating person, and also Kylo Ren.
Also, if they're going to, like Rey and Kylo, if they're going to get some kind of romance in the end,
That fucking Reylo crap.
Yeah, that's going to be like so fucking stupid. I mean, I actually
They already
like
have that kind of
I
thing,
actually
yeah.
like the Force talks, even though they were like just a hoax.
Cringy as
but
fuck.
still like, yeah. Also, we need to
Why-
finish this game because I need to pee so bad.
Well, I'm not even in the game. I'm ready to join back in. But I mean, again, they just took really good stories and just decided to change it for no reason because they didn't. It was essentially like, in my opinion, The Last Jedi was whatever the fans thought was going to happen. We're going to do the exact parallel opposite just to fuck them over.
Yeah.
That's literally what it feels like. All the theories that came out were then instantly denied because they killed off
Also,
all the good characters.
Your mic sound is getting a bit bad. Are you like?
I may or may not have
covering-
been leaning on the mic.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No,
I was not
I
leaning
won't.
on the mic.
Shut up. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I still need to watch the Solo movie at some point, but I'm not in a hurry, you know. Might just wait when the Blu-ray comes on sale or something.
Fair enough.
Oh no. Why can't I do this last haul? I really need to do this. I need to pee so bad.
Because you're under pressure to go to the toilet.
Yeah. Oh no.
You're women, what the fuck is a Pasheen 90?
What?
What?
Is it a brand or like a character or something?
Do you mean Pusheen?
Oh, it's a character of
Yeah,
some
it's a
kind.
cat.